If you want to introduce your child into feminism, don't show them this film. Hi guys, welcome back to the Shannon Show. Hello if you're new. So today's video is going to be a review of Moxie, which just dropped on Netflix. I hope everybody is doing as well as can be, and I really do hope everybody is being as proactive as possible in supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. And if you're still on the lookout for some resources, I've linked some in the description. Feel free to comment down below your thoughts on my commentary. I'm always up for a chat, I'm always up for a debate, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. No hard feelings. And if you really like this video, consider subscribing and helping your girl out. So Moxie, it's just dropped, and I was pretty interested in watching this film. After watching the trailer, I was a bit skeptical about it because I was kind of like, this looks like fun, but I'm kind of getting, you know, white feminist vibes, or, you know, trying not to be a white feminist film but then kind of ending up being a white feminist film. And after watching this film, I can't even say if it is or if it's not, because the whole thing was just a mess. So let's just talk about it. So obviously, it being kind of like a teen feminist film, let's just get on the feminism. So the feminism was very much what I expected, very much the Western feminism that you get in these Netflix teen shows. You know, the tank top protests, calling out the sexist school rules. You know, everyone's dancing to rock music, they're so cool. They're so alternative, they're girls, but they're dancing to punk rock music. Vandalism and stuff like that, things that we've seen before. They didn't really put their own spin on it. It wasn't exciting. It felt like I'd already watched it before, and honestly, I'm kind of tired. I'm kind of tired of the same old feminist narrative. What I really want to see, I want to see boys getting jumped by a group of girls. I want to see a murder cover-up plot. I feel like we need something new. We need something fresh, because these tank top protests are getting old. We need something new, honey, because in real life, that shit doesn't work. The film tries its best to be as inclusive as possible, but a lot of the time it felt very tick boxy. They mentioned inclusive characters.
Okay, you know what's really messed up? People refuse to call me by my new name.
Didn't really see much development from them, but to be fair, we didn't really see much development from anyone, to be honest. There was some random intervals with like speeches that was just like unnecessary. Like, there was one scene with a teacher and he was asking the students about The Great Gatsby. One of the feminist female students went on the stereotypical rant of, you know, why are we even talking about this book written by a white man for white people? It's just the same old speeches that they always recycle in these so-called progressive shows.
It's written by some rich white guy, about some rich white guy. And I guess we're supposed to feel bad for him.
And then they started going on a rant about immigrants and the American dream.
I mean, if the point is to learn about the American dream, we should be reading about immigrants, or the working class, or black mothers.
It was just everywhere. It was just everywhere. It was just words to say words and to tick boxes. There was a lot of these unnecessary random speeches that were frankly just extra and really didn't move the plot and didn't really move me personally. It felt like, okay, we're gonna insert a scene here where the female teen stands up to the male teacher and gives an impassioned speech. We're gonna put about 4 in the movie, here, and here. That's what it felt like. Even some scenes where she was like, oh, are you not talking to me about physics because you don't think girls can do physics? And it was just like, ugh.
I'm a girl, I don't know about science.
Not at all. No, you want to talk about physics?
Please, give me more substance. And of course they have the token male ally who is also the feminist, who does the bare minimum. We also have that.
Why is she your favorite?
She's the tomboy that wants to become a reporter.
It's very lackluster. In terms of the feminist storyline linking to the main character Vivian, the progression into her feminist awakening was just very unrealistic. This introverted wallflower who no one bothers anyway.
It's so nice not to be on anyone's radar. Totally.
And now, because some girl stood up for herself and there was this sleazy list going around the school, she is now angered to the point of starting this feminine revolution.
You know, that list is like pretty messed up if you think about it. Yeah, duh.
And to me, it didn't really make sense. For me, her being inspired to join a feminist movement makes sense, because obviously her mum's a feminist and she already did disagree with the sexist status quo at school anyway. But in my experience, for you to get to the level where you are starting this pretty much radical feminist vigilante group, in my experience, is because you have been tried and tested. And she wasn't tried and tested. So it's kind of like this anger inside her didn't really correlate. You know, sure, you can empathize with people, but I don't think empathy works that way. And, you know, teenagers are selfish. They're very selfish people. And she herself was very selfish throughout the film. So for me personally, her progression into Moxie didn't make sense to me and was a bit unrealistic in my opinion. Her showing solidarity and then becoming more radical that way would have made more sense, rather than her just, you know, deciding to be radical one day because... And then on top of that, she's now, you know, starting this feminist group, which she's doing anonymously. She's not even doing it publicly. She's doing it anonymously. Sure, she's making the magazines and she's got all the girls hyped up, but inside the movement that she joins, under the guise of not being the person who started it in the first place, she's taking the back seat for everything. It's more this new girl called Lucy, who she was inspired by, who basically takes no shit. She was basically the organizer.
Hey, do you want to join us?
She and another black character were basically the spearheads of this movement, even though they were inspired by Moxie. They're the ones who were leading the movement, but they were focusing so much on Moxie. So there was this disconnect of her inspiring the movement, not being the leader of the movement, but meant to be the leader of the movement, but other people leading the movement, but us not focusing on the people leading the movement. So again, the narrative was just a bit everywhere. It's just a bit messy, because it makes more sense to follow the story of the people who are actually making moves in the movement. And Vivian wasn't making moves because she was taking a back seat. But yet we're spending most of the movie focusing on her, which again, it just didn't really make sense to me. And then further on, I guess she's going through it and she goes on a rant and confesses that she's the Moxie girl to her mum. And in this rant, she has the cheek to say that she is doing this movement all by herself and no one's helping her, after Lucy and all the other girls are doing all the hard work. Rude.
And none of it is working, and no one is helping me, and I am all alone in this.
It was very cheeky of Vivian. And I feel like they tried to excuse her not coming forward and her not being, you know, as actively involved because she's an introvert.
It's a personality test. We're both introverts.
But, you know, further into the film, she becomes a bit more confident. She becomes a bit more bold. But it's a very, very slow progress for her to even get to the point where she is becoming bolder. That's where the inclusion starts to get messy, because it's the black characters that are doing most of the work in the movement, but yet we're focusing on this white girl who is basically taking the back seat. So it's just kind of like, it's just a mess. Like the narratives that they're trying to spin are just getting intertangled with each other. And it just becomes one big mess, which often is the result of writing an inclusive cast, but not having an inclusive writing room writing it. And even sometimes with the black characters, they'd have them say things that just didn't sound authentic.
Do you like money? Come, I'm gonna get you some. Shut up and secure the bag. I can handle that, sis.
Like, it was like, okay, this is a non-black person trying to write as a black person, and then when they would say the line, the delivery was just off, and I didn't even have to check to see that all of the writing room was white, the director was white, the producer was white. It seems like an all-white team, and it really is not just enough to just throw in inclusive characters. You need to have inclusivity in the writing room as well, to avoid messes like this.
My hair is not a wig, it's not nappy. It's thick, curly, and it's who I am.
Now, the film does actually address Vivian's white privilege. And I thought at this point, maybe we were getting somewhere. But they decide to address it in the absolutely worst way possible. The way that they address it is that Vivian's old-time best friend, who didn't even want to be a part of the movement anyway, who has ultra-strict Asian parents.
哎，你身上穿的是什么呀？你不能穿 tank top 去学校的。
decides that she's going to take the rap for Moxie's bullshit and ends up getting suspended.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. She took one for the team.
And her reasoning is that it's because she knew that Moxie was Vivian, and because Vivian is her best friend, she wanted to protect her. But then when Vivian goes to see her, she's like, you just don't get it. You've got white privilege. My parents are immigrants and they had to come to America and they had to work really hard, and you just don't get it. I've disappointed them so much.
You don't get what's going on with me because you're white.
What?
Do you know what my mom had to sacrifice to get to this country? What she had to do to make it so that I could go to college?
And it's like, but sis, nobody told you to confess. Vivian didn't tell you to confess. You're stupid.
And I don't have the freedom to take the risks that you do.
You can't blame Vivian's white privilege on your stupidest girl, because that was just stupid, honey. And that's the way that they address Vivian's white privilege. So after she's now been confronted with her white privilege, she doesn't take it well, which I guess is pretty realistic. And she just becomes a bitch for like a whole 10 minutes. Like, she's just a bitch for 10 minutes about it.
Seems like you've just been doing reckless shit and then letting other people take the blame for you while you just take cheap shots at me, your mom, and your mom's perfectly nice boyfriend.
And doesn't really address it at all. And then suddenly we get diverted to a really dramatic storyline that makes everyone forget about the whole white privilege storyline, because the next storyline is just so massive.
Last year I was raped.
So it's just like, why even put it in there in the first place if you were just going to skirt over it? Which kind of leads me on to the overall narrative, which the narrative was just everywhere and messy and drawn out. Like, the film was almost 2 hours and it definitely didn't need to be that long. Like, in terms of the exciting parts of the film, there was like a few bursts of energy here and there, but most of it was a drag. Like, really and truly, like, this is definitely like a background noise film. Like, you'll get bored watching this shit. I got bored watching it, and yeah, it just didn't need to be that long, to be honest. It was just filled with so much shit. And the ending was just, I don't even know what that ending was. Obviously, like I said, they diverted the white privilege storyline to some really dramatic storyline, which was a sexual assault victim sent a personal letter to Moxie asking her for help anonymously.
Can you help me? From one anonymous to another?
And so Vivian decides to stage this big protest. And then at this protest, where all of the girls and everyone walks out of school in support of this anonymous sexual assault victim, she reveals that she's Moxie.
And I do not fit the prototype of a leader in any way, but here I am anyways.
Which inspires the victim to come forward and publicly name her attacker, who turns out to be the token douchebag at the school.
Mitchell Wilson raped me.
And then suddenly the female principal, who has been upholding this toxic patriarchal system and ignoring everyone's complaints about the sexism and the sexual harassment, decides that she's going to ignore Vivian's admission of criminal damage and theft of her trophy, and now decides she's going to enforce the law on the high school douchebag and predator.
Mitchell Wilson.
Yes?
Come with me.
But hey, maybe it's because the victim that came forward was white. Maybe that's why she did something about it. And then there's these kumbaya speeches, which were just boring. And then there's a party, and then it finishes, and it was just, yeah. Did I really spend 2 hours of my life watching this? And yeah, no consequences for Vivian. No consequences for her. 0. But her Asian friend got suspended. And they just don't address it. Like, it was just so dumb. It was so dumb. In terms of the characters, I don't really care about any of the characters. Vivian, we're meant to be looking up to her, but she was literally just a coward. Like, she was a coward throughout 90% of the film.
If you knew it was me, why didn't you tell her?
Because I'm not a coward, unlike you.
The only bravery she showed was at the end of the film. She didn't want to do Moxie publicly. She was happy to let her friend take the rap. She's acting like she's the one doing everything when she wasn't. And she only joined the feminist movement once she saw that other girls were joining in on it. So, you know, I don't know, are we meant to be rooting for this person? Like, sorry, Vivian is a mess and she's lame. And I don't think people should even be looking up to her, to be honest. To be honest, this whole relationship she had with her feminist ally Seth's boyfriend, didn't care for it. Their funeral date was fucking weird.
A funeral home?
A funeral home.
If someone invites you on a date and they take you to a funeral home, fucking run. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that whole scene and she was like, oh my god, I had so much fun. In a coffin. In a coffin, babe. And this is meant to be cute. The standard. It was just shocking. That was a mess. Lucy, I wanted to love her, but like, I just didn't have any connection because she was just a token character. There were so many people in here that literally look a good 30 years old. And it was very distracting, including the Mitch guy. He literally looked like 30 years old. And it's just like, why is there a 30-year-old in here? And his black friend as well, definitely like a hard 35. Like, your hairline is moving away, baby. If there's anything good that I can say about this film, is that generally the hair and makeup are good, especially for the people of colour. Usually the people of colour in these Netflix teen films are looking a mess. Lucy, her hair was on point. There was one person whose wig was not on point. That's the only thing that I could say was bad. I think you know what character it was.
If it was me, you all would know.
But they did sis dirty with that wig. They could have gotten her a human wig. So yeah, if there's anything good I can say about the film, it's that. The costume, I guess you could say, was normal teenage wear. I'd give them that. But overall, like, this film, I'd say, is probably not worth your time. But if you are going to watch it, it makes good background noise, I think. Good background noise. So yeah, I was just very disappointed in this film. I expected better. I wasn't expecting a masterpiece, but I was expecting to at least have fun, which I did not have. It was just so stupid. Very stupid. Definitely -1 point for feminist film. Yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts. But I'd be interested to hear what you guys think of the film. And of course, what you guys think of my thoughts of the film. I think overall, if I'm going to rank it, I'd probably give it a 2 out of 5. It wasn't a great film, in my opinion. But yeah, that's pretty much what I gotta say. Subscribe if you haven't yet. And if you have, don't forget to put my notification bell on so you know when the next video is dropping. I'm also trying to get to 2.8 subscribers. And I'd appreciate if you help me reach that goal. And thank you to everybody who has subscribed to my channel so far. Till next time, guys. Bye.